Hey world, hey universe. I'm so happy to be back with all of you once again after 2 weeks. Last week we did an Insta live and hope all of you had an opportunity to listen to that recording that we uploaded in our channel. And you must have enjoyed all the fun and laughter that our community had with the nerdy optometrist Miss Upti. Thanks so much Upti for arranging this, and thanks to everyone who joined live on that day and asked a lot of questions that made me think actually indeed quite a bit. So thanks so much once again for all the love that you've shown. And as you see now, this time I'm attempting a different way of recording. So please give your feedback as how this is working. I'm also exploring a couple of things to see how I can be more self-sustainable in terms of recording these episodes. So before we begin today's episode, it's World's Brothers Day today. And so I'm going to send so much love to all my own biological brothers and all the brothers out there. And most importantly, it also coincides with the end of the holy month of Ramadan, and that signifies the importance of brotherhood as advocated by Islam. So Eid Mubarak to everyone. I know that some of you are missing that delicious biryani. No worries, we'll all be back again soon with more laughter, more fun, love, bliss and biryani. Today we are going to discuss something very fascinating, okay? Because the last 2 weeks, what we have seen is basically a mixture of both catastrophic events on one end, including the COVID-19 pandemic, the curve peaking up, the Amphan storms, Karachi flight crash, the sufferings of the immigrant workers. And at the other end, we are hearing about nature gaining its equilibrium, millions of endangered baby turtles getting hatched and returning back to their sea base. You should watch this video on YouTube, guys, you will love it. Animals starting to leave the zoo and then enjoy being outdoors because that's where they used to be and we locked them, right? And so much more, like we are hearing about increasing fertility rates among people who, were longing for kids for so long, and so much more that we are experiencing in our own personal lives. So this is the time to pause, reflect, redirect, reprioritize, and spend time with our loved ones. Madam Mary Curie says this: nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Because when we really look into the face of the current situation, the current pandemic, it definitely tells us a lot of things. But one thing, it tells us that this is a response of the nature to the collective ignorance and insult that we've done to it. This is the time to wake up and take a different stand. And that is our focus for Let the Soul Speak over the next few weeks. How do we prepare ourselves to be able to come out as stronger, healthy, better and kind human beings at the end of this dark passage? How can we stop complaining and blaming and start refining our own mindsets? What are the skill sets and attitudes and attributes that we need to possess such that we feel better every other day? And we feel more growing and more humane in our own skin. Because if each one of us in this community takes that stand that I'm going to clean up my own mess and I'm going to become better every other day, and that's going to reflect in the vibration of the collective consciousness, and then we will start to see all the marvels and miracles around, because empowering our own self empowers our family, a community, our society, country, world, and the universe. What more do we need? So what's the first item on our list for today? It is listening. This is the time to listen to our own inner voice and to those who seek our support. We did touch this very superficially in one of our earlier episodes where we spoke about empathy, and many of you indeed appreciated about that aspect, and some of you even wrote a very detailed, insightful understanding of your experience with listening. Today we are going to really dive very deep into the subject. I learned this in a recent mindfulness summit that I attended online, and I had this aha moment. I'm like, okay, I have to share this with my community now, and I'm going to share it with you today. If I tell you that there is one letter that can teach us everything about this great human attitude, wouldn't it be fascinating? Yes, there is this one letter in Chinese language which is pronounced as Ting. And as you going to see, it is this letter, okay? Okay, this is this letter, Ting. There are tens of thousands of characters in Chinese, each with their own special meaning. But this is the Chinese character for listening. Okay, this is a very traditional character which dates back to the older systems of writing that dates back to 5,000 years. This traditional character is still being used, I think, in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and other overseas Chinese communities. But let's now get into the depth of this character. And we also have an expert who's going to, from China, who's going to tell us about her explanation of this character. That's the speciality of this episode. We're going to have an expert speak to you, because I listened, I knew about this character, but how about somebody from a friend of us from China talking to us about this character? So just hold on, okay? So first, let's just dive deep about what this character is trying to tell us. Look at this character, Ting, okay? The left part of this character, this represents our ears, okay? So where I put the headphones now, it represents our ears, because when we listen, what are we trying to do? We're trying to understand the tone of the person, okay? So because from the tone, we can actually understand so much. We can understand if they're talking with so much of engagement, because sometimes when people speak really very fast, you know that maybe they are not really getting very deep or they are in an urgency to just tell you something and run away. But if you're looking at somebody who's going to like pause, reflect and speak, then you know that they're very serious about what they are talking. So the tone with which the subject speaks to you, okay, the person who comes to you, who has sought your counseling or whatever it is, just tune your ears and listen to the tone with which they are trying to tell you something. That tone actually can tell a lot about the emotional status, their level of engagement, okay, and lot more. The next is eyes, okay, my favorite, eyes. Because what does actually eyes try to tell us? The moment you say eyes, see, I have these minions with beautiful eyes here. It's going to tell a lot about the expressions on the face, right? So you're going to use your eyes and you're going to look at what the space that's right in front of you is trying to tell you. Okay, what's the expression on this person's face? And you're going to sense the confidence with which they are trying to talk to you. You're going to see if there's any pain in that facial expressions, or there is so much happiness and joy, or there is some anxiety just coming up in their face. And especially for parents and teachers, I have a tip. When you look into the eyes, you can actually even sense the confidence with which the person is trying to tell you something. Especially when they are speaking with full confidence, you can see that their eyes lighten up. But when they're trying to hide something, then you can pick it up from the eyes. It's even more relevant now because all of us are wearing masks, and the only thing that you can see is the eyes. Okay, so there's no other go. We used to say in the world of communication that look into the eyes, but now there's no other go. You have to learn to look deeply into the eyes of the subject and try to understand the facial expressions. Okay, so that's what you're going to use your eyes to understand the expression of the subject's face that's trying to talk to you. Okay, so this is listening. Okay, you're still listening, but you're also trying to gauge the subject's engagement level, emotional levels. The next thing is mind. Okay, this is the super important aspect. I was blown away just looking at this character. I was super blown away, because what are we going to use our minds for? Our minds, as I call monkey minds, all the time it's going to jump from one place to another. Even if somebody is going to talk to you on the other end, your mind will be jumping. I remember some of the meetings where even before the speaker finishes speaking, there will be somebody trying to interrupt or ask questions, or always just in the mood of asking questions, because his mind is kind of all the time trying to come up with questions rather than really listening to the content or the context of the subject, right? So it's so important to just shut down this monkey mind, stop this chatter, and then stop all the analysis, the assumption, the judgment, recalling our own experience. It will be thinking, I've also had very similar experience like this. What is a big deal about this? And just stop going to a completely different world and just be present. You can also be critical, or you can use your analytical thinking, especially if you are a student trying to listen to your teacher or a subject matter expert, because the context is different. You're trying to analyze the subject and you're trying to understand the subject. But if there is a person who's coming to tell you something, or if there's a speaker who's trying to convey certain important information, it's so very important to stop this chatter within our minds, stay tuned, be present, and just listen. The next thing is heart. See what's written there? To feel. Because using our heart helps us to connect with that person at a much more deeper emotional level. I will talk about this fantastic organ at some other point later in time. Our heart is called mini brain. It's actually yet another brain. More information is sent from the heart to the brain than the other way around. Okay, so it's so very important to tune into your own heart. And the moment you tune into your heart, you can sense the emotion of the subject right there. You will be able to empathize with this person right in front of you. Okay. The next thing is, look at the stroke here. That's actually called as undivided attention, or to focus. This is the center of this character that holds this entire character all together. The eyes, the ears, the mind, and the heart. What does this tell you? It's telling you that stop all the chatter at the background. It's trying to tell you that you are now trying to fill in the gaps. They are trying to speak to you, this person, but you are filling in all the gaps. Okay, don't do that, and don't try to jump into answer even before they finish the statement, like as you would see in some of the meetings. Okay, but rather just without any distraction, give your complete 100% focused attention to the subject. Use your ears to hear, eyes to see, mind to think, heart to feel, undivided focused attention. One character in Chinese language talking to you about the importance of listening with so much wisdom and content. Now we're going to listen to what our Chinese friend has to say. Okay, I just had to record this very quickly when she was in her OPD seeing patients. So if the audio is not clear, don't worry. I will try to repeat that audio for you. But this is
oracle listening. So, and this is a very simple one, because this represents a mouth and this is the ear. So one is talking and another one is listen. This is a very simple listen. And so with time going, and it becomes like this. So this is the character you show me. I searched some files and I found something. This one means the ear. And the ear below this character, the original meaning is it means the king, but here it means the jade. The jade is a very good jewelry. It represents the nobility, respect, anything beautiful. So in ancient China, the person with jade on the ear, it represents the man is an honorable man. So an honorable man is a true listener, and because when this kind of person listen to other people, he can also see and he use the heart to feel. So this kind of person is a real listener. So this is the traditional lesson.
Wow, so much within just one character. And so Zhao was telling me that you don't use this character anymore, right?
Yes, because now we use a simple character, not this one. But
So
I also
how do you pronounce this character, if I may ask you? Like, how do you?
in Chinese,
Yes.
it spells Ting.
Ting.
Yeah, Ting.
Okay. Okay. Okay, you go ahead. You were trying. You were telling something about this character.
There's a pronunciation here. Ting.
Ting.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
And I also feel that because this kind of person, the person with the jade on the ear, is the honorable man. But I also think when you listen others' opinion, no matter what things, when you listen to others, if you can use your ear to listen and use your eyes to see and use your heart to feel, and then you can also become a man with honor. And
what she's saying, because when I first learned about this character, so we saw the eyes, ears, heart, and the mind. So she has replaced that mind with the word king, because what she's saying is that any person who is going to use all these senses with undivided attention is a man or women of honor. They are equivalent to a king. Okay, so you can become kings and queens just by listening. What a wonderful explanation by our friend Tang, all the way from China. Thank you so much, Tang, and thanks Zhao for organizing this meeting. She just came online and she shared this wonderful wisdom about this word listen in Chinese, Ting. Okay, so what are we going to do over the next 1 week with this learning? Okay, so Monday, beginning from tomorrow, we're going to focus. So Monday is the time to listen. Okay, so you're going to use our ears to listen. We're going to tune into the tone, pace. We're going to pause. Okay, and we're going to look at the modulation with which the person is speaking to us. Okay, so we are trying to improve our ability to hear. That's what we'll do on Monday. On Tuesday, we will focus using our eyes. Okay, focus on using our eyes. We're going to tune into the facial expression of that subject who is standing opposite to us. We're going to look at that body expressions, the language, the posture, and the gesture. So we're going to use our eyes to kind of read this person, what they're trying to tell us. Okay, so we're going to use our eyes very, very effectively. And Wednesday, we're going to use our beautiful minds, and we're going to be very open-minded, very uncritical, and then we're going to just be conscious about what is our mind trying to do. Of course, it's going to go all over, but we're going to be very empathetic, kind, and bring our minds back and stay tuned, be present, and listen to the subject. Thursday, we're going to focus on using our heart. We're going to tune into the emotions of the person that's trying to tell you something, and then use everything that we've practiced so far, and we're going to open our heart to the emotions. And what are we going to do on Friday? Undivided attention. Pull all these together, all these elements of this Chinese character, and you're going to give this person your undivided attention. So I am going to take this commitment today. So next time when my son is going to run all over, when I'm engaged into something, I'm going to just shut down whatever I'm doing. Of course, if I'm not in another meeting, I'm going to just use all my senses. I'm going to use my undivided attention to listen to what he's trying to tell me with all my emotions, all my senses in place. Okay, and so I'm so very happy to be sharing this words of wisdom about this Chinese language, what this just one character is trying to tell us. And this is a fantastic quote that kind of felt very, very apt at this moment. Listening is an art that requires attention over talent, because nobody's checking your talent here. Nobody is checking how competent you are when they're trying to tell you something. And you're going to use your spirit, okay, over ego, and you're going to keep the others over your own self. Okay, so please play this video to your kids also, because the more earlier they start to learn about this whole art of listening, I think they're going to really become better human beings, right? And so until, I think that's all I have for today. And I've given the resources for all these exercises in the link below, okay? Because I've taken information from various resources, and those links are below. You can use those resources to go back and read again. Next weekend, we are going to do another Insta live in actually Tamil, okay? So my Tamil audience, just stay tuned, and all other people also, you can go and listen to that Insta live. So next Saturday I'm going to go live with one of my friend. So we would love to have you all join live with us and ask whatever questions that you want to ask us. But until then, we are going to use all our senses and practice this beautiful art of listening. And until I see you next week, signing off with infinite love, gratitude and bliss. This is yours, Riz. Let the souls